You know what? They remember everything they hear. Don't they? These songs they're singing now, I'll tell you what, they'll sing them a lifetime. They'll always remember about the story of Jesus because they learned these songs. I want you to know that we need to be role models to these children. And I dare say if we had time this morning to go around this room, most of you could stand up and tell about a role model in your life. But now in this situation, the mothers wanted to bring the children to Jesus. But for some reason, the disciples dissuaded and discouraged them. Now, I wonder why. You know why I think? This is it. The Christ that died on Calvary, they had been with him for 3 years, but they still did not know about all the love that was in his heart. You see, the disciples had on their minds who's the greatest. When he comes into his kingdom, can I sit at the right and left? That's what was on their minds. Status and power and position. Why, we haven't got time for children and mothers. Now, we have to be careful in church. Because just like the disciples did not understand what was in the heart of Christ, sometimes our actions might demonstrate that we're more concerned about who is the most important, who has the greatest status, who is the powerful person, who does that church belong to, who gives the most money. See, Christ is not concerned about that at all. Christ is concerned about his church loving a lost and dying world. And I'll tell you what, if there's any group that we ought to stand tall for, it ought to be the children. Just as Jesus that day was wanting to take these children into his arms and bless them, we, the church, are the arms of Christ reaching out to this world saying, come, let us love you. Back in 1967, excuse me a second, I did graduate from high school. A little help, my friends. My uncle said that he would enroll at Gardner-Webb College where he was in administration. Well, I one time took my uncle's advice, and that's where Diane and I ended up being. It didn't even mean no money came my way. We had to pay our way. But when we arrived there, we had a little apartment. It had actually been built for the veterans fought in World War II. They just threw that little thing together. It's like a shack. The wind would blow the curtains. Like yesterday when we always just blow curtains. You just have fresh air blowing through the entire house. The bathtub was just totally exposed. It's like taking a bath outside almost and getting that water. Well, we just moved in, and here comes this car. There's another apartment right there. And it was this big car. I don't remember what kind. But in the car was Strib and Beverly Barton, couple. Strib was this big boy. He's going to play football at Gardner-Webb. His linebacker. He had a sweetheart, but I tell you what, I wouldn't want him to hit me on the football field. I bet you he can make it hurt. He come home after them ball games, his arms be black and blue on both sides where he'd been hitting people. That was weird. He's also went on up to play at Mars Hill like against Gardner-Webb. Well, on top of that car was this baby crib. And golly, there was a baby. You know how they look when they're first born? They sort of look like prune slivers up and they're red all over it. Don't say, I didn't say that, did I? And here was this baby. I looked at that baby. Her name was Amy. Have you ever just looked at a baby? Have you ever looked at a baby? You remember in the story of Moses where Pharaoh's daughter went to take a bath and heard this cry, and she looked in there and she saw this baby and she was moved with compassion for the baby and took the baby. Have you ever looked at a baby like that? Where you say, I believe I'll just take this baby home. Well, I wasn't going to take it home. For the first time, now I guess I've been around babies before, but I don't remember every time that I ever really looked at a baby. I was focused on this angel. She had gotten my attention And you know what she did? All she had to do was show up. She'd cry. And so I go over every day, as long as they lived there, every day of every week. Guess where I went to visit when I was out of class? They knew it was me knocking at the door. I was like, whatever. Oh, yeah. I'd go in there and hold Amy, talk to Amy, sing to Amy, do all these kind of crazy things to do with Amy, you know, the baby. You know, I just want to answer. And you, yeah, when you're in college, look at this A time. When God put love in your heart. I believe that's exactly the way that Jesus looked at these children. His heart was moved with compassion. Lord, I was when my daughters came along. I tell you, we had no money, we had nothing. But we had each other, we had God, and we had a baby on the way. We would buy as poor as you could get. But I tell you, you wouldn't have known any difference. As much love as we had for me. I have it in my office. I'm going to plug it out here. It's a little image, little play image of a father holding baby like on a lap. One night when we were in seminary, Angie was talking and dying. You know, we got these sleep. The mothers get up and take care of baby. Come on now, guys. Isn't that the way it was in your house? Or did you do the thing? Oh, I could sleep right through it. One night, Angie was crying. I woke. Yeah, that's right, different generation. Angie was crying. I went in there, and Diane was asleep about 3 o'clock in the morning. She was asleep, and that baby was in her lap crying. I picked up Angie. I said, Diane, go in bed. And I took Angie, put her in my arms, and I did like, and put her right to sleep. So I had to sleep in the rocker. I used to hold her, throw up in the lap, and still to this day I hold her when she comes home. I have her sit in my lap and I hold her and give her a big kiss. Dads, children, mothers, but everybody needs their own love. Okay? We used to play, trotty old horses. Remember that? You know how you put them on your foot and do this, and then fall down? All those. I wonder if you had, what Jesus, don't you know he looked at them? You know what I bet he did? I bet he called them by name. He knew everything. He knows everything. He called them by name. Maybe he told them about the love of God. Maybe they could just feel the Holy Spirit moving into their bodies like they've never felt the power of God. Maybe a little healing was taking place that no one knew anything about. Maybe these children needed some healing in their bodies. Maybe they needed the love of God in their hearts. Maybe they needed their minds to be awakened to the spiritual matters of life. I don't know what transformed there, but I tell you what, I bet you those babies were never the same again because they had been in the almighty presence of God, Jesus' Son. And I think the same thing is true today. That when we reach out and we touch children and love them and pray for them, God's Spirit moves. Moves in such a special way. And I like to think of my church as loving people and people. I wouldn't want to be a part of a church that doesn't have any people. As a matter of fact, the more children, the better. Bring them on in here. Y'all can keep on having some more, too. It's okay. Abraham, them were a little old, and they got around to it, do you remember? Been barren for a long time, so don't give up hope. But Jesus said, bring them to me. It's forbidden not, or such is the kingdom of God. I have a tendency to believe that every child needs a loving father in them. Every child needs love and grandparents. Uncle grandparents. I believe that every child needs to be touched by God through His church. Every child deserves it. Now, he said that, you've got to become like a child to enter. It's not childish. Childish is like, well, you ever hear it? He ain't nothing but a big baby. You ever hear that? That's just childish. Never did grow up. Never grew up. I do love children, though. I love them. They're so intriguing. Do they ask questions? Lots of questions. Have you ever been around? They ask lots of questions, don't they? Like the preacher that was giving a tour to the children, and one of the little boys said, "Are we going to see the pool room?" That's the one that we got covered up there. That you see is sort of mysterious children. They don't know exactly what's up there, what's in there, what it looks like. Are we going to see the pool room? And I'm going to warn you, not only do they remember everything, you say something, they may repeat. And they'll be honest. They'll be dead honest and say, blah, blah, blah. Preacher said so-and-so. I listened Sunday. He said so-and-so. I remember. They got that memory night. I mean, when Diane was growing up, she had a wonderful childhood and lots of expression, freedom, and love. And one day, they lived in this development, and there's this family in the development that when they discussed anything, everybody in the neighborhood could hear it. They were just the least bit loud. And so Diane's mother, Ruth, said, they talk about how loud those people were. Well, Diane must have called on and thought that she was supposed to be loud too, because one day she's in the house and she's being